We have got some amazing news for you tonight, and lots have been happening today, which is incredibly amusing. And there we go. Well, good evening, and it's been a very, very exciting 24 hours here at Camelot Castle TV network. All across the world, all of you have been helping our communication to reach out and to impinge on a number of incredibly valuable minds, and I want to thank each and every one of you out there. Jane Cole-Marshall, good evening, how are you? Thank you for your support and backup today. What can I say? Last night, Project Veritas, which is owned by a good friend of ours, James O'Keefe, basically released a video, which I can't get into the details of because it will get banned from this platform, but it's on Twitter. You'll find it on my Twitter account, and this video shows exactly what various different manufacturers that have been producing these these carrots, really. They've been producing the carrots, and I would ask all of you, as soon as you stop watching this video, to go and find the Veritas video. I don't know if anybody saw it or if anybody had the opportunity of seeing what was released late last night by Project Veritas. If you did, please mention this in the comments and let me know what you think about it, and I'll try and read out your comments. But in any case, I was so incensed by what I saw on this video that I thought that it would be very, very good indeed to write to one of our local MPs here in the Southwest, Johnny Mercer, who actually I have had a tremendous amount of respect for, because he was very sincere in saying that he wanted to do something about the PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder for veterans. And because we are aware of a cure for post-traumatic stress disorder, and we know how to actually resolve that for the veterans, using, of course, Dianetics, which many of you, I don't know if you know this, but this book here, sorry, turn way up, Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard, will resolve PTSD for any veteran, unless, of course, they have physical brain damage. But providing the body is still in relatively good shape, and they haven't had a lobotomy or something of that nature, then this book here actually cures post-traumatic stress disorder. And of course, any social person or any decent person wanting to actually help veterans, and I always felt that Johnny was sincere in his effort, and so we supported his ascent to the House of Commons, and we were very glad to see him go off to Westminster, and of course then supported his further career advances into the government, and when he became a government minister over the field of mental health. That was very, very exciting. And we felt that this was an opportunity to actually bring the help that these soldiers that have experienced these horrors of war, which is not entirely their fault, but they experience these things. We thought that that would be an amazing breakthrough. And the great thing, of course, about Dianetics, when you use this book here to cure post-traumatic stress disorder, you don't have to use any drugs at all, none of these psychiatric drugs. Well, of course, this rather upsets the psychiatric drug companies. A few of these psychiatric drug companies tend to attack Dianetics, or they attack me personally, or anybody else, frankly, who goes around saying that there's a cure for this or a cure for that. They're not interested in cures. They're interested in you keep on buying their drugs. And, I don't know what the price of a hardback Dianetics book is these days, but you can find it online. But it's certainly nowhere near the cost of their psychiatric drugs over a time period. So, very exciting. And so I wrote to Johnny last night, and I wrote him a private message over Twitter, and then I also wrote to him publicly over Twitter. It was a very polite message to ask him if he'd seen the video. And I have to say, I was extremely surprised this morning when, I wrote to him. I wrote him a tweet. I will see if I can find that tweet, actually. Let me just get the offending page up. And I see if I can find the tweet. There we go. Just so you're all in the loop and you understand this. Now, I think this is, yes, here we go. What did I write? I wrote, Dear Johnny Mercer, at johnnymercer.co.uk. John Mappin here. I'm a business owner in the southwest. We have interests in Plymouth, and I am involved in local politics there. Now, Johnny Mercer, of course, for those of you who know, he's an MP for Plymouth. He's a member of Parliament, which is the equivalent of a congressman in America, for those of you tuning in from overseas. So I wrote, we have interests in Plymouth. I'm involved in local politics there. For months now, we've been witnessing the lethal and maiming nature of the carrots. And then the tweet goes on to say, having to edit the words a little bit here, in the light of this evening's Project Veritas communication from the manufacturer's employee, what are you going to do about this situation? It is a mass poisoning event. Then I wrote, I've been watching friends and people in the West Country dropping dead at an alarming rate recently. Many others are vaccine damaged. Many others are carrot damaged. Your party pilloried Andrew Bridgen when he spoke out, but he's been right. What are you going to do about this? It is genocide. Please let me know. Many thanks, John Mappin. Now, I thought that was a relatively polite question to a very, very urgent situation. I mean, we are really looking, these carrots are creating what I would say is a sort of a genocide, really. And it's now, dear Johnny Mercer, I will put his reply up on the screen because it was quite shocking, really. He saw fit to write, Dear John, you are one of the weirdest people in the Southwest. Please don't spread this total bollocks around. Best wishes, Johnny. Well, sorry to say, Johnny. Number one, weird, as in beauty, is in the eye of the beholder. It's you're absolutely within your rights to consider that I am weird. For the life of me, I cannot imagine what you imagine or why you think I'm weird. I think that is an epithet of a disparaging nature, and the thing is, we've never actually met in person. I think that is a little bit on the impolite side, I should say. So I have replied to him, and you can see my reply in the Twitter feed. This is my reply. I wrote, "Dear Johnny, we've not had the pleasure of meeting in person, although our family strongly supported your ascendancy to the House to represent the people of the West Country, and supported your continued promotion as a government minister to further serve the people of this country, and I'm sure that there are many issues on which we do agree. I don't know why my simple request for you to do something about the lethal and maiming nature of the, I'm going to have to use the carrots, currently still being pushed on unsuspecting populations would cause you to criticize me personally, not least as many in the military, veterans and your constituents, their unborn babies and children, have already miscarried or died from or have been maimed or harmed by the carrots and the carrots." So the video last night that I brought your attention to, that was released by James O'Keefe of Project Veritas, is extremely worrying. It has been viewed by over 10 million people. Here it is again, and I put a link to the video so that he could see it again. It seems to show a senior carrot research employee describing how that company is creating new viruses using what would appear to be an illegal gain-of-function research, rebranded as direct evolution, in order to create further carrots for profit, with little concern for the people of the world who are their planned market and recipients. This is a disgraceful business model if ever one was presented, and every MP in the House should be rising in unison now to question this and to question the safety of carrots and demand their immediate withdrawal from the market. How can we be sure that other variants were not part of this research program and released as part of the profit model? At this time, one courageous MP, Andrew Bridgen, who's had the courage to raise the dangers of carrots in the House of Commons and ask questions, has been unjustly and disgracefully pilloried by your party, and his further valid questions have not been satisfactorily answered by the minister questioned. I will quite willingly experience any of your personal remarks if my bringing this matter to your attention or my communication saves the life of one child, or indeed saves the life or salvages the health of anyone in this country from the effects of the toxic carrots that they have in many cases already consumed. I do question why you've not spoken about this when the evidence, data and science are now clear. Dr. Malone, Dr. Malhotra, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny and many other doctors have been clamouring for governments to act, and I'm sure that Andrew Bridgen can point you and your government colleagues in the right direction. I should be glad to introduce you to these doctors, and they can take you through the scientific evidence, which is now very clear. Please let me know what you're actually going to do about this matter. Warmest regards, John Mappin. So, as of yet, he hasn't replied to that, but I would appreciate it if you would go on to my Twitter account, @RealJohnMappin. As you know, I'm back on Twitter now, which is great. And if you could retweet, it's @JohnMappin. @JohnMappin is my Twitter account, and also @TV Camelot Castle. And if you could retweet these tweets so that this comes to the attention of as many people as possible, because the fact of the matter is people are dying from these carrots, and they are being maimed, and they have been maimed. And we need to do something about it, and we need to really act. Of course, now the people, our great friends over at the Plymouth Live newspaper and Cornwall Live, have now reported on this rather unfairly again. But the comments, very interestingly, in my Twitter response, and the response, the comments to this particular MP, Johnny, actually are very much in the favour of yours truly. And I want to thank.
Then which Twitter account is it? It's not clear to me.
Well, my wife is saying I'm not being clear about the which Twitter account it is. My tweets went out on at John Mappin, the main account with the 151,000 followers type of a thing. So if I could ask you to retweet that, and I can actually hear the tweets now coming. See all those beeps. That's all your tweets. Thank you so much. I thoroughly appreciate that. But if we could try and send this, Bill Wagner. Thank you so much. Well, Bill says the real weirdo is Johnny. Well, I've not met him, Bill. I've not met him, and I don't judge a man until I've met him. And the other thing that I don't do, or I try not to, of course we all fall foul of this slightly, is until I've walked a mile in his shoes, you don't know what pressures are being put to bear on these MPs. I am not saying this is the case in relation to Johnny, but I'm absolutely certain that some of the people involved here have been heavily pressured, using forms of pressure and using forms of blackmail and different types of hypnosis that has been applied to them. And that's one of the reasons why we're seeing these completely insane decisions. So there we go. Lisa Holistic says, this is the time when the politicians get a final opportunity to do the right thing and decide which side of history they want to be on. I think I agree with Lisa. Simon Richard says, lesson 1, never support a Tory. Well, I wouldn't say that's necessarily true. That's not my opinion. Lesson 2, accept that you are odd. Well, I wouldn't accept that true. I'm not accepting that true. 3, give your son a sister or brother. Well, that is a good thing to do. Yes, I'd love to do that. And lesson 4, somebody's saying, get that Q flag up and take down Excalibur immediately as it looks like an inverted satanic cross. Well, Simon, that is incredibly entertaining. I did wonder if it is a little too soon to put the Q flag back up again. But what do you all think? Should we fly the Q flag back above the battlements of Camelot Castle again? I think it could be a little early for that. I don't think I've quite been forgiven for the Q. So Jane Cole said that's a shameful response. I think it truly is a shameful response. But anyway, that's what's been going on today at Camelot. I don't know why we seem to be the epicenter for these attacks and these. So Ryan is saying, fly the Q flag with pride. Fly the Q flag with pride. You know what? Maybe we will fly it again. Maybe we will. Judith is saying it's a little early for the flag. It's a little early. I think we reserve. I think we wait. I think Julia is right. Judith is right. I think we keep the Q flag in reserve for when we've truly vanquished the lies. And I think where we're at now is that if you remember the Dam Busters movie, I think we're at the stage where the Moor Dam has been breached, and we're still flying off to the other dams. But definitely a dam has been breached. I got in touch with Andrew Bridgen today, and he very kindly has now become part of our groups and various different things that we are a part of, which is really very, very exciting. Let's see how we do with that. But anyway, that's what's going on. I need your help today. I need your backup. I don't often ask you for help, but I would truly appreciate it if you'd find those tweets on my Twitter account and retweet my response there to Johnny. And because it's important for the truth to get out there. And the work that Project Veritas has done, also I would ask you to back them up. And I think it's a very, very good thing. Other than that, if you personally have been vaccinated, in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor, but the best thing that you can do is buy this book, Clear Body, Clear Mind, read it, and then find somewhere where the purification program is delivered and get the purification done, and that will remove the toxins from your body. This program, the purification program, is one of the most beautiful things that you can do. It's a real life extender, and it's a marvelous, marvelous thing to do. See if you can get hold of a copy of this book. I think you can buy it on Amazon. But good to see you all. We've got some amazing breakthroughs coming through. We have an absolutely extraordinary breakthrough that we're just looking fully into right now on the subject of, let's say you have a child that has difficulties at school and they're really having trouble learning to read, and they're really getting you could say, a problem with learning difficulties. We have got a program here that is mind-blowingly effective, and it can accelerate the literacy of a child by about 100 times, and it's very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. So we're going to be getting into that with you a little bit later on this week, perhaps next week we might do that. Everything else is good. I hope you're doing well. Do come and see us down at Camelot Castle. Cornwall is lovely at this time of year, absolutely adorable, and it's so peaceful down here. And you know, one couple came down here yesterday, and they, oh my gosh, they took a lovely walk. All sorts of other things going on. Ted has been producing the most unbelievable sculptures. Look at this one. This is unbelievable. This is Friends into Eternity sculpture, and it's really extraordinary. So do come down here and take a look at some of the new art that he has been engaging in. And the other thing that's been going on is Caspian has been, doing brilliantly with his chicken farming. And he took his chickens for a walk the other day up to Boots. This is his favourite chicken, and called Mango. That's Mango. Mango had a little walk up to Boots. That's Mango in Boots. There's nothing wrong with Mango, but he just took the chicken for a walk into the village with my mother. They had a lovely time. There he is again, with his chicken in the village of Tintagel. And it's a nice thing, children and chickens tend to be a good mix. There we go. There's Caspian with Granny, my dear mother, who took a moment from ticking me off from being overweight to take Caspian for a walk up to the village. There we go. Lovely to see you, and we will see you very soon. I just thought I'd give you a little bit of an update, and do please take a look at all of that. I think you'll enjoy it.
Thank you.